So I thought I'd give you guys a little download on what I've been watching so far this year. You're going to have to forgive the professional of this. I have no editing skills whatsoever, so I'm doing this raw and simply just me talking to my camcorder in my room. So, January 2013, I've noticed there's not that many new shows that have really been taking my interest. So I've been watching mega loads of older shows. I've caught up on 2 seasons of Community, possibly the most amusing thing I've ever seen on television. If you're not watching Community, you really should be. It's just functional group of misfits that meet at community college and all individually just start getting on each other's nerves. It's got an absolute film geek, Abed, as one of the stars. So it's like layers of meta on top of meta of him going, am I in the episode? Is this a TV show? If this was a TV show, this would be a bottle episode. And then every now and again having wild flights of fantasies about what TV show he's really in. They've done everything from like zombie episodes to superhero episodes to a Dungeons and Dragons episode. So to me, it was absolute genius television. I watched a load of anime over the Christmas break, something with the world's stupidest title, which was Legend of the Legendary Heroes, which looked entertaining. It had a very attractive cast of bishies with long hair, with swords and special powers and magic, and a plot, I think. But after a while, it still wasn't really going anywhere, until the final episode, when it decided that it really needed a second series to describe what the hell was going on. And, well, since there's never going to be a second series, I'm not entirely sure where it was going. A beautiful Shion managed to become king in about 2 years, trying to create order out of the chaos of all the conflicting kingdoms. But he didn't really seem to do much apart from be depressed in his office while sending off his friend and the psycho female sidekick to find artifacts that they never explained why they were looking for those either. And then another guy decided he hated war so much that he was going to start a giant war to take over all the kingdoms to make sure nobody ever had war again. And then there was a possibly abused Bishonen bad guy with shadow puppets who seemed cool. Not entirely sure if he was bad or if he was good, but he was hot, so I'll give him points for that. And it just kept introducing these really interesting and attractive Bishonen characters and not really going anywhere with the plot. So I'm not entirely sure if the series was fantastic because it was very nice to look at, or if it was terrible because it didn't go anywhere in the slightest. Other things I watched was Moara Penguin Drum, which was fantastically surreal. Kind of a mix of Utena, kind of ideals and graphics. A little bit of Madoka with the surrealism and what is the true meaning of humanity and where do you belong in it. All mixed in with a bit of surrealist comedy, some lovely like visual kind of iconography and like what is the true meaning of the heart represented by the apple, and you divide it and return it, bringing families and lovers and conflicting people together with a very surreal transformation sequence which went from a penguin hat summoning you onto a magical rock and roll train that took you to a giant teddy bear mecha where the queen of the alien penguins would give a speech while magically her clothes flew off. Totally surreal, but definitely worth watching. In fact, it's the kind of anime that you watch and go, now I need to find the rest of the fans so I can understand what the fudge was going on there. Other things, obviously, Merlin ended. Cried like an absolute baby during the end of Merlin. I was disappointed by the weird random epilogue. A little bit too much fan fiction AU for me and not enough like, kind of like, well, let's just leave it in the hope that one day Arthur will return to us. I still to this moment believe that Gawain never died. Gawain just passed out, Percy went back, carried him home, and they lived happily ever after together. That's my ending, that's how I'm keeping it. New Doctor Who, this Christmas special was way better than last year's. At least it had the actual Doctor doing doctory things, which is an absolutely useless phrase, but never mind, I've used it now. It was atmospheric, it was fun, it had a strong cast. I recognised the girl immediately going, wait a minute, souffles, I'm pretty sure you're the girl from Inside the Dalek. So it'll be interesting to see what her storyline is. I am slightly annoyed that the sidekicks are getting younger and the doctors are getting younger, and it's becoming a little bit too teeny, because I never wanted it to be the day when I started ending up looking older than Doctor Who. I'm like, uh-oh. At the moment, Matt Smith and me share exactly the same year of birth, but still being the same age as Doctor Who. I've always thought of him as the older British man that's totally dashing and wonderful, not quite the guy who's the same age as me. What else have I watched? Leverage came to an end. I didn't actually realise it was going to be the last episode of Leverage ever. 5 years of beautiful Leverage, and I'm like, no! But at least they had Mark Sheppard in the last episode, so that was fantastic. But I don't know what I'm going to do quite. What's going to fill the Leverage hole? I mean, I've still got White Collar and Suits as my kind of like con, non-con, very chatty kind of intelligent comedy, cat and mouse games. But Leverage was such a unique ensemble of characters and such a, like, an entertaining show. I don't quite know what's going to fill the void, especially since there's no new shows that are interesting me. Hiatus is nearly at an end. 1 week to go, and we have the return of Supernatural, Hawaii Five-0, Glee, Fringe, Once Upon a Time, Revenge, all coming back. Thank goodness, I'm going balmy without them. And being January also means that it's the return of Game of Thrones and Spartacus. I absolutely adored Spartacus shows. Absolutely miffed that War of the Damned is going to be the last one. But what can you do? They're going to make these great shows. They're going to take them away from us. I'm like, there better be some new awesome things coming out over the year, because I'm losing quite a few fandoms this year, and it's making me sad. I've got Cult, I think, is the only new show that's coming out this year that's really piqued my interest. But I suppose there's a good chance to catch up on a backload of stuff. Like, I watched 3 series of Sanctuary. I'm on the 4th one now. Sanctuary's not great television, but, you know, it's hitting that nice little spot. You know, Amanda Tapping is fantastic in it, but it is less highbrow than the average science fiction that I normally watch. But when you've got no new stuff, you're forced to start watching all the other little shows that you thought, I'm not going to watch that yet because it doesn't quite seem as good as I'd like. But give Sanctuary its dues. It will have an amazing episode, and then it will have I'm not entirely sure what happened there. And you've kind of got to be entertained to a show where the season finale was the main character, very much a white American dude, goes to India, and the giant spider demon that's living in the sea causing tsunamis of destruction is actually the physical embodiment of Kali. So what does our hero do? He does a random Bollywood number in the streets of Delhi to appease the spider Kali. On that really surreal and random note, I'm going to leave you, and hopefully I will continue with some more reviews over the coming weeks. Bye for now.